Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are going to be looking at a book that you wanted to explore.
Okay.
Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this book is a bit of a classic, right?
It is.
It uses a pretty simple story to illustrate some powerful ideas about how we as humans handle change.
Yeah.
You ever feel like life throws you a curveball?
Oh, for sure.
Just when you get comfortable.
Absolutely.
Well, Who Moved My Cheese
Ah,
dives right into that feeling.
totally. It really does. The book uses this metaphor of cheese to
It's-
represent what we want in life. You know,
I like that.
maybe it's success,
Yeah.
maybe it's security, even happiness.
Okay.
And it puts all that cheese inside a maze
Mhm.
to show just how unpredictable the path to getting what we want can be.
Okay, I like this already.
Yeah.
So walk me through who's running around this cheese-filled maze.
So we've got 4 characters.
Yeah.
We've got 2 mice, Sniff and Scurry,
All right.
and then 2 little humans, Hem and Haw.
Okay.
Now, Sniff and Scurry. Yeah.
They're all about instinct.
Okay.
They notice changes quickly
Right.
and just go.
Yeah.
Hem and haw, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Well, they're a bit more like us, I think. They overthink things, get emotional,
Yeah.
and that can sometimes make change a whole lot harder.
So it's instinct versus overthinking.
Yeah.
Sounds like the setup for a lot of life's challenges.
It's a classic battle.
What happens when this crew actually finds their cheese?
Well, they all hit the jackpot at Cheese Station C,
Cheese Station C.
overflowing with cheese.
Nice.
And Hem and Haw especially get super comfortable.
Okay.
You know, think comfy chairs, established routines, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
Even though there's a mountain of cheese, right?
Yeah.
Sniff and Scurry still wake up early every day,
Really?
and they check the area.
Wow.
They're resourceful, always looking out for any sign that things might change.
Which is smart, because we all know that that comfortable feeling doesn't always last forever.
So what happens when the cheese at Cheese Station C
Oh, yeah.
starts to disappear?
So, predictably, the cheese at Cheese Station C eventually vanishes. Now, because Sniff and Scurry were already keeping an eye out,
Yeah.
they're kind of ready for it,
Okay.
they immediately lace up their running shoes,
Okay.
which they had smartly kept tied together, by the way,
Smart.
and they zoom back into the maze
Yeah.
to find new cheese.
So no time wasted on freaking out.
No freaking out.
Okay, but I'm guessing Hem and Haw don't handle it quite as smoothly.
Not at all. They're completely thrown off.
Oh, no.
See them kind of spiraling through denial, anger, even blaming others.
Oh, wow.
It's honestly a little hard to read because it's so relatable.
Yeah,
They waste so much time just wishing things would go back to how they were,
right.
even chiseling a hole in the wall,
What?
hoping that they missed some hidden cheese.
No way.
But of course, that gets them nowhere.
Oh, man, I've totally been there.
Haven't we all?
Clinging to the past when I should be looking ahead.
Yep.
The book really nails that feeling of frustration
Yeah.
when change hits you out of nowhere, doesn't it?
It does. It really highlights something really important, too.
What's that?
The difference between just doing things
Okay.
and actually being productive.
Right.
Hem and Haw are busy, sure, but they're not moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm curious, have you ever found yourself in that cycle?
Oh, yeah.
Super busy, but not getting any closer to what you actually want?
All the time.
Yeah,
It's like running on a treadmill.
it is.
A lot of effort.
Yep.
But zero progress.
Exactly.
But in the story, it's Ha who has this aha moment
Yes.
and decides to try something different, right?
Yeah, he does.
Even though he's still scared, he knows that sitting around at Cheese Station C is a dead end.
It's a pivotal point in the book.
Yeah.
He literally asks himself,
Okay.
what would you do if you weren't afraid?
Wow.
I think that's such a powerful question for all of us. It points out that often it's not the actual situation that's holding us back.
Right.
It's our own fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Ho takes a leap of faith
He does.
and heads into the maze.
Yep.
But I bet it's not all smooth sailing from there.
Definitely not. His journey is full of twists and turns.
Oh, no.
He gets lost,
Mm-hmm.
finds tiny bits of cheese that don't last,
Oh.
and definitely gets discouraged along the way.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. He starts using the power of visualization
Okay.
to stay motivated.
How so?
He doesn't just wish for new cheese.
Mm-hmm.
He really pictures it.
Right.
The taste, the smell, even how it feels.
Wow.
And that helps him push through even when the maze gets tough.
That's such a cool strategy.
It is.
It's like creating this mental roadmap to what you want.
It is.
But did he have any other, tricks up his sleeve?
Oh, absolutely. As Hall explores the maze, he starts to notice something really important.
What's that?
The cheese. at Cheese Station C.
Yeah.
It didn't vanish overnight.
Okay.
There were signs.
Oh.
Maybe a smaller supply one day, change in taste.
Okay.
But Hem and Haw were too stuck in their routine to really notice.
So change often happens gradually, even if it feels sudden when it finally hits you.
Exactly. And if we can get better at spotting those smaller changes,
Right.
we'll be much more prepared for the big ones.
Yeah.
It's all about shifting from being reactive to being proactive.
Okay.
Remember how Sniff and Scurry, they were
Yeah.
always sniffing around, checking things out?
Right.
That's the kind of awareness we want to cultivate.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So instead of getting blindsided by these big changes, we can train ourselves to be more like detectives,
I like that.
looking for clues about what might be changing around us.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
And as Haw continues his journey,
Yeah.
he starts leaving these little messages on the walls of the maze.
Oh, yeah.
Think of them as like breadcrumbs of wisdom for himself and maybe even for him in case he ever decides to leave Cheese Station C.
Oh, yeah. Those messages, they were full of insights, weren't they?
They were.
What were some of the ones that stood out to you?
Well, one that really hit home for me was, if you do not change, you can become extinct.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder that holding on to the past too tightly can actually be dangerous,
Yeah.
especially in a world that's constantly evolving.
It's like that saying, adapt or die, but maybe a little less dramatic.
Right.
It's not just about survival, though, right? It's
Yeah.
about thriving, finding new opportunities, and experiencing things you never would have if you stayed put.
Exactly. And another one of Haw's messages that really resonated with me
Yeah.
was smell the cheese often. So, when it is getting old,
Okay.
it's about staying vigilant,
Yeah.
paying attention, even when things seem fine on the surface.
Mhm.
Because even the best cheese can eventually lose its flavor.
Okay, I love to smell the cheese often.
It's good.
Such a simple way to remember to check in with what's important to you.
Yeah,
Make sure it's still serving you, still bringing you joy.
it is. And then there's another gem.
Okay.
This one's movement in a new direction helps you find new cheese.
Mm.
Sometimes you just have to shake things up.
Yeah.
Get out of that routine and explore new possibilities.
Mhm.
Even if you don't know exactly where you're going,
Yeah.
the act of moving forward can lead you to something amazing.
This is making me think about all those times I stayed stuck in a situation
Oh, yeah.
just because it was familiar.
Yeah.
What if I'd taken a chance,
Right.
stepped outside my comfort zone?
Mm.
Who knows what I might have discovered?
That's where the real growth happens.
Yeah.
When we challenge ourselves,
Yeah.
we discover these hidden strengths, new perspectives, even talents we didn't know we had.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that new cheese
Yeah.
isn't even what we expected.
Okay.
It might be something even better than we could have imagined.
So are you saying it's not just about like finding new cheese?
No?
It's also about being open to the possibility that
Yeah.
what we thought we wanted
Totally.
might actually be wrong.
Absolutely. The journey itself
Yeah.
can lead us to something even more fulfilling.
Okay.
And speaking of journeys,
Mm-hmm.
Who Moved My Cheese also touches on these imaginary fears,
Okay.
the worries that we create in our minds
Oh, yeah.
that often turn out to be way worse than reality.
Oh, man, those imaginary fears, tell me about it.
Right.
I can get so caught up in what-if scenarios
Mm.
that it just like paralyzes me from taking any action at all.
It happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
but Haw realizes that
Yeah.
most of his fears were unfounded.
Okay.
The actual challenges in the maze were tough, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but not as terrifying as the monsters he dreamed up in his head.
So it's not about pretending we're not afraid.
No.
It's more about recognizing that fear often magnifies things out of proportion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes just acknowledging those fears,
Yeah.
shining a light on them, can help shrink them down to size.
Okay, this is all great in theory, but how do we actually apply these lessons from the book to our own lives?
Right.
It's one thing to read about Haw's journey,
Mm.
but it's another to navigate our own maze, right?
Right. I mean, change can be scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed, kind of like being in a maze with no map.
Yeah, but the book seems to suggest there are ways to make navigating that maze a little easier, right?
Absolutely. And remember, the book doesn't pretend that change is always easy
Right.
or painless.
Yeah.
Haw went through a lot of ups and downs on his journey.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely had moments of doubt,
Yeah.
fear, and frustration.
So how do you keep going
Yeah.
when things got tough? I mean, we all have those moments where we just want to give up and go
Yeah.
back to what's familiar,
Yeah.
even if it's not really working for us anymore.
Well, one thing Haw learned to do was laugh at himself.
Okay.
He didn't take his setbacks too seriously.
Right.
He understood that making mistakes was part of the process. And being able to find the humor in those situations helped him keep moving forward.
I love that. It's like giving yourself permission to be human, right?
It is.
We're not always going to get it right.
Nope.
And sometimes the best thing we can do is just laugh it off and try again.
Exactly. And Who Moved My Cheese also reminds us that finding new cheese isn't a one-time thing.
Okay.
It's a continuous journey of discovery and adaptation. It's not like you reach a destination and then you're done.
Right.
The world is always changing.
Yeah.
So we need to be ready to change with it.
So even when we achieve a goal
Yeah.
or find something that makes us happy,
Mm-hmm.
we can't just get complacent.
Nope.
We need to stay curious,
Yes.
keep exploring,
Keep sniffing.
and be open to new possibilities.
Right. Think of it like this.
Okay.
What might have been your cheese yesterday
Yeah.
may not be your cheese tomorrow.
Okay.
Our needs and desires evolve.
Right.
And what we're looking for in life might change over time. It's about staying flexible and adaptable.
This reminds me of that quote.
Oh, yeah.
No man ever steps in the same river twice.
Right.
For it's not the same river, and he's not the same man.
That's a great quote. It perfectly captures the idea that everything is in constant flux.
Yeah.
And we're always changing, too. So how do we actually cultivate that mindset
Yeah.
of continuous growth and adaptation? How do we become more like Sniff, Scurry, and Haw,
Right.
the characters who were able to embrace change and thrive in the maze?
Well, the first step is probably becoming aware of our own tendencies.
Right.
Right?
Emily.
Are we more like hem resistant to change and scared to leave our comfort zone?
Yeah.
Or are we more like Ha, who eventually learned to embrace the unknown
Mm-hmm.
and venture out into the maze even when it felt scary?
Self-awareness is key.
Yeah.
Once we understand our own patterns, we
Yeah.
can start developing strategies to become more adaptable.
Right.
And luckily, the book offers some really practical tips for doing just that.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Yeah.
What are some of those tips?
Well, remember how Ha used the power of visualization to stay motivated?
Mm-hmm.
The book encourages us to visualize yourself enjoying new cheese.
Okay.
By creating a vivid mental picture of ourselves succeeding,
Right.
we're more likely to take the actions necessary to make that vision a reality.
So it's not just about hoping for things to get better,
Nope.
but actually seeing yourself in that better situation,
Yeah.
feeling the emotions associated with achieving that goal.
Right.
It's like creating a mental blueprint for success.
Exactly. Another tip is to expect change.
Okay.
The more we anticipate change,
Yeah.
the less likely we are to be blindsided by it.
Right.
We can do this by paying attention to subtle shifts happening around us
Everything.
at work, in our relationships,
Yeah.
even in our own thoughts and feelings.
Instead of resisting those changes, we can ask ourselves, what opportunities might this change present?
I like that.
Yeah. How can I leverage this to my advantage?
That's a great approach. It shifts our perspective from fear and resistance to curiosity and possibility.
Right.
And sometimes change brings unexpected benefits and opportunities that we never would have considered before.
The book also talks about the importance of moving with the cheese quickly.
Yes.
The longer we wait to adapt,
Yeah.
the harder it becomes.
Yes.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
The faster we do it, the less it hurts.
So true. And while change can be daunting,
Yeah.
it can also be exhilarating.
Okay.
Remember how much Ha started to enjoy the adventure of exploring the maze,
Mm-hmm.
even before he found the new cheese?
Right.
There's something empowering about stepping outside your comfort zone
Yeah.
and realizing you're capable of more than you thought.
It's like that feeling of conquering a fear
It is.
or achieving something you weren't sure you could do.
Mm-hmm.
That sense of accomplishment can be incredibly motivating
Yeah,
and make the challenges along the way feel worthwhile.
absolutely. And that sense of growth and resilience,
Mm.
that's often the most rewarding part of the journey.
Well, I think we've definitely covered a lot of ground today. Who moved my cheese?
Sure.
Maybe a short and simple story,
Yeah.
but it's packed with wisdom about navigating change and creating a more fulfilling life.
I agree. It's a powerful reminder that change is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be something we fear.
Right.
By embracing change, becoming more adaptable, letting go of the old and embracing the new,
Yeah.
we can unlock our full potential and create a life that's truly fulfilling.
So to our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought.
Yes.
Remember, what was your cheese yesterday might not be your cheese tomorrow.
That's right.
Stay curious, keep exploring, and never be afraid to move with the cheese.
And until next time, happy cheese hunting.